Hello and welcome to Three Peaks Podcast, where we take a break from the hike of life and appreciate the views. Today we have a very special guest. Why don't you go and introduce yourself?
Thank you so much. My name is Cooper Brown. I am from Salt Lake City, Utah. I grew up in Southern California in Ventura County. And for the past 13 years, I've been DJing. I've provided my DJ services for everything from weddings to school dances to private events and corporate events. And in early 2020, I quit my day job to pursue DJing as my full-time career, which I never thought I'd do, but DJing was going so well that it made sense to. And so I started DJing when I was 16 years old, and 13 years later, it's been the most fulfilling, rewarding career I could have hoped for.
Very nice. So with being a DJ, there's a lot of inspiration that one can find in becoming a DJ. So what persuaded you to become a DJ?
That's a great question, Ivan. So I was that kid in middle school and high school who was not a good dancer, but I loved having fun. I loved going to the school dances. And what I loved about it was not the dancing itself, but I loved helping other people have fun, helping other people to, get off their chairs and to let loose and to have like the best time that they could possibly have. And I just felt a lot of satisfaction out of helping people break out of their shells. And that's something that I've always been really good at. And so when it came to getting into DJing, what it really was that I noticed that dances and parties and events were the best way for me to use my skill of helping other people to have a blast and to feel comfortable doing it. And so that was the very, very beginning of my desire to want to do something in the DJ world.
Yeah. So one of the most important things about being a DJ is the selection of music. So when selecting your music for a wedding, perhaps, do you get consulted on what type of songs the people who hired you would like to have in like the playlist of that you'll be showing while being a DJ?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and a question that I actually get a lot about. So I appreciate you asking that. When it comes to music selection, I let my clients have as much or as little involvement as they want. Something that's really cool is that I actually have a music app. This app can be downloaded on people's phones, and they're able to, and I'm not going to pull it up right now, but they're able to totally customize their music. I actually have tons of playlists in there. They can listen to music. They can add songs to certain parts of the event. And what's cool is they can even invite their friends and family to join their app, and they can actually add and vote on songs. So to answer your question, people are totally able to customize their music selection, because my goal is to make sure that their event is unique to them and it's very geared towards what they want to happen. And so really diving deep into what music they love and what type of energy they want to create is really important in making that happen.
Yeah. So going a little bit back, you said that like they could pick their own music, right? But how do you adapt to like the different audiences? Because I mean, like there can be people that are like not like, they're like, I don't really want to dance, or like they don't want to get up and sing. How do you adapt to the different kind of personalities they have? That's
a great question. So we'll put this like scenario out there. This happens at a lot of weddings that I DJ. Is you have the young folks like you guys' age, right? And I would consider myself young too. I'm 28 years old, almost 29. And then you have the middle age. We'll say, people argue what middle age means, but we're just going to say it's like, 40-year-olds. And then you have the grandparents, right? So you have this wide selection or wide array of people ranging from 15-year-olds to 70-year-olds. And so when I'm looking at a crowd before they dance, I'm looking to see, do we have a lot of younger folks here, or middle-aged folks, or older-age folks? And that's how I kind of decide what decade we're going to be playing music on, right? So let's say I saw you guys at a wedding, or maybe at a party I was DJing. I would say, hey, these people are younger folks, so they're going to love the 2010s songs. And then I would look to see like their style and their personality. If they're wearing like a cowboy hat and boots, they obviously love country music. Right. And so I kind of use deductive reasoning to kind of figure out and kind of judge people in the way of, I'm looking to see and guess what songs are going to love. And the most important part of the answer to this question, Armini, is after I play a song, or like the second I start playing a song, I look to see how people react. Do the people go, oh, I love this song? Or do they start walking off the dance floor? Or do they just kind of keep vibing and keep dancing? The second a song plays, I look to see how it reacts. And I might try some hip hop. I might try some Latin songs. I might try some 2010s. Or maybe if it's older folks, I'll try some 70s or 80s. And I watch to see how they react. So that's a very in-depth answer, but hopefully that helps.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. So one thing that I think about all the time about like being a DJ, you know, is that when like if like you're playing a song that they don't really like and you hear them like gossiping or something about it, how do you like tune that out and just like, no, it's okay, you know, I'm doing great and all that? How was that experience like helped you become a better DJ?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question that I don't get asked often, so thank you. When I just mentioned that the second I play a song, I look to see how people react. If they don't react well, I'll change the song very quickly. So there are some really cool, have you ever heard the records kind of scratch, a DJ will kind of scratch a record. So sometimes if I play a song and I can tell that they do not like it, I will scratch in the next song and then boom, on to the next song, 10 seconds later, 30 seconds later, like really quick. And I don't think that's a failure as a DJ to choose the wrong song. The thing is, you're choosing anywhere from 50 to 150 songs a night. You're not going to get every single one perfect, right? And so I'm always ready to just move on to the next one in case it's not the right song.
And with catering to weddings and corporate events, setting up equipment is very important, because if something's not set up properly, then the whole thing could go bust. So is there a process that you have to put together your the best way to creatively be with the audience and at the same time have them enjoy their time at the party?
Yeah, totally. So if I'm understanding your question correctly, so when it comes to equipment, I always have one or two phone calls with my clients to make sure we're totally on the same page. I understand how many people are going to be there and what the room looks like. That way, if there's a lot of people, it's a big room, I've got to bring more equipment so that people can enjoy it, because they can hear the music and they can feel it. And it's not like a little tiny speaker for 500 people, right? And so that's preparation that I put into it. And when it comes to helping people enjoy the evening, I think two things that are really big, besides great, there's lots of things, but two that I'll mention is you want to have great sound and great lighting, because lighting really makes people feel, right? So for example, I'm looking at you guys right now on this video call, and you guys have perfect lighting. It looks great. And it makes me feel like this is a professional, scenario or podcast, and it is. And so with lighting, I'm able to really bring some lighting equipment that can enhance the room and make it feel elegant, make it feel cool, and make people feel the emotions that we want them to feel.
And kind of like what you were saying, like the feel of professional. So would you say like the setup that you have, if it looks great, do you think the people in the audience are going to react kind of differently to like your music or something like that?
Yeah, great question, Ezra. So I absolutely agree that's true. So for example, last year I bought something that I've never had before. It's called a DJ booth. It's a custom DJ booth. So basically what it is my turntables sit in this custom table, and this table is all white. It actually lights up. And so while I'm playing music, the whole thing lights up and moves to the beat of the music. And it looks elegant, it looks sleek, it looks expensive, because it was expensive. And then I also have some speakers that are coming in about a month. I ordered them like 8 months ago, but with COVID, things are like way behind. And most speakers are black speakers. Well, because my DJ table is white, I was like, I should get white speakers. That's pretty unique. Not many people have that. So I have white speakers coming in the mail, or coming next month. And I've already received a lot of compliments from people when I see my DJ booth. They're like, oh, this guy's legit. Like, he's not just like someone who tries to DJ, like this guy's legit. And so in summary, Ivan, yes, having professional equipment that looks good and sounds good, people notice. And that's something that I try to focus on.
Yeah. So one thing I'd say was being a DJ. This is what I feel like, but I mean, you're a DJ, so maybe you could give me some
Yeah.
of what your thought is on it. Um, so when you're playing like good music that you think the crowd likes and they're having good reactions to it, and they're
Uh-huh.
like partying and everything, how does that make you feel like just by yourself? Because I know other DJs have like different kind of thoughts on that, but what's your own thoughts on that?
Yeah. So this is probably one of the top reasons why I DJ. When I see people singing and dancing and singing at the top of their lungs and they're just letting loose, it is this unreal feeling of adrenaline and of energy and of complete like satisfaction on my end that all my work, all my effort that has allowed me to develop this talent is being enjoyed by strangers who are having the best night of their life.
Yeah.
And when I get home from DJing, these big dances or weddings, and I know that it went perfectly, I have a hard time falling asleep because it's like having an adrenaline rush for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your body has to calm down.
Yeah.
And so that's a fantastic question, because it really is kind of the main reason of why I do what I do, is because I can see people having the best time in their life. And I get reviews from my clients who say that, they couldn't have imagined a better event. And it was in large part because of me. And that makes me just feel super grateful.
Yeah. And kind of like what you were kind of like saying before, getting the attention of your audience is something that is very important for anyone, from a public speaker to what you do as a DJ. So what are some of the best ways that you connect or get your audience to kind of get up and move?
Yeah. So besides DJing, there's another component called being an MC, which is a master of ceremonies. And as the MC, I'm the person on the microphone who's leading and guiding and directing the evening.
Mhm.
So I'm the one who is telling people where they should be, why they should be there, and hopefully setting up the stage for them to feel the right emotions, whether it's being excited, high energy, or maybe it's a beautiful sentimental moment like a first dance.
Mhm.
So what I do to captivate everyone's attention is I train. So I've actually taken professional MC courses to know how to properly public speak. And when someone gets on a microphone and they feel like they have authority and they have a clear, good, solid voice with good direction, people listen. And
Yeah.
so that's one of my strong suits that I always tell my clients is I feel like I can MC really, really well. And because of that, people are going to be engaged. They're going to know what's going on, and they're going to be involved in every aspect of the night. So I think being a really good MC and knowing how to get everyone to clap without asking them to clap, which, by the way, here's a quick tip, guys. If you want people to clap without asking them to clap, you intonate your voice. So for example, I'll welcome everyone to like our amazing podcast. If I say, hey guys, welcome to our amazing podcast, no one's going to clap. But let's say we're in a big group and I say, hey, everyone, welcome to our amazing podcast.
Right.
People will automatically start clapping.
Yeah.
So just knowing how to intonate your voice can cause people to clap. And then when people clap, the few people who aren't paying attention are like, oh, what's going on? And now they're paying attention.
Yeah.
And so that's probably one of the biggest tricks that I use all the time.
So with being a DJ, there's a large amount of music that you are able to listen to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So over the years, you get a taste of certain genres of music. What would you say one of your favorite genres of music that you like to listen to if you're not working and just relaxing?
Wow. So I have a very unique answer to this, Ivan, because I'm not your typical DJ in this answer. So this will be a good answer. When I'm listening to music as I'm working, I'm actually listening to like instrumental piano because that helps me focus. A lot of DJs love like rocking out to like their favorite songs. I just can't focus. So on my Spotify, the most listened to like playlist is like instrumental study. So that's what I like listening to. But on my own, I would say I love listening to like any music in the past 20 years, probably from 2000 on, and on. And I love hip hop. I love alternative. I love pop. And those are probably my three favorite. The music I'm not super interested in is probably country music and electronic music. I've just never been super into that. But those are probably the three genres that I'm listening to and enjoying myself.
One thing we wanted to discuss is we just wanted to congratulate you on winning event DJ and event entertainer. Congratulations for that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's called the Best of State Award. And so now I'm, the 4 times Best of State DJ, which is a really exciting thing. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And that's an amazing journey, I bet, that you've had the pleasure to go on. So from the starting point, from the starting point of being 16 and learning about DJ and having a passion to where you are now, how has it changed?
How's it changed? I never imagined I would do this as a full-time career. I never thought that a DJ could get paid enough to support a family. And I never thought that there was the potential for enough work to be out there for me to be able to go full-time. And so I think the biggest way that it's changed, Ivan, is this was a part-time hobby at first. And then over the years, it transitioned to a more serious thing. And then over the past 6 years, I've taken it very seriously, and I've done professional training, and I've gone to workshops, and I've gone to conferences. And now, I get to DJ for some of the most incredible events and companies around. And people trust me because they see my work ethic, they see my portfolio, they see all the reviews that I have. And so it's neat to see how I've taken this from a hobby to a full-time career that provides for my family.
Yeah, and in the field of DJing, do you have any mentors that kind of helped you to become the person that you are now?
Yes, I absolutely have had mentors. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make in life is not having mentors. And I'm talking everyone. Your mentor can be like an uncle, a grandparent, your parent, or someone in the business world. But typically, and hopefully, it's someone who's kind of at a point that you want to be at, right? And so right now, I currently have a business coach. So I pay him, for the whole year to be my mentor and my coach. And we meet every week and we discuss what's working, what's not working, my challenges. I open my heart to him and he helps me. And that's been a great mentorship. I've also had DJs the past few years from all over the country who have seen me and who like me, and they give me advice, they give me mentorship. They're always willing to talk. And there's one DJ here in Utah who was really instrumental, 5-6 years ago in helping me to break into that professional barrier. And he's become a good friend of mine. So I've definitely had mentors who have played a big role in my success.
Yeah. And one thing that you also set up as well, along with your company, is photo booths, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when people usually think of photo booths, they just have a camera set up and then you just take pictures behind a backdrop. But you have a specific station that's set up with lighting and a tablet of some sorts, and then they take it from there. And I'm pretty sure they can send it to them if they like. Can you tell us about that?
That's exactly right. So I have 2 photo booths. I have what's called an open photo booth, and this has a really cool backdrop. It has props that are on the table in front of it, like silly glasses and hats and scarves and things like that. And I create a custom design for all my clients. So it has their company name or their wedding names, and people can come in. There's a countdown timer. They do some goofy, poses, and then it prints out photo strips so they can keep it. It's a really cool thing. I also have this newer one, with everyone being on TikTok and on Instagram. This is called the digital booth or the social media booth. And what's cool about this one is it's actually like a kiosk style. And so you can put it anywhere you want, and people can take GIFs, they can take boomerangs, or they can take normal photos. And it even has the classic Snapchat or Instagram filters where you can put on a virtual hat or sunglasses. Mm-hmm. And you can actually text the photos directly to your phone right away. And so that way people can post it on their Twitter, Instagram, or whatever profile they want. And that one's become really popular over the years as social media has taken, off and been a really normal thing for people to use.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. So your business name is One Above Entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you think makes your business different from like any other DJing company?
Yeah, that's a great question. The first thing is that I truly believe that I care more about my clients' success than any other DJ. So I think it really boils down to how much I care. Because I care, I have my own app. I get on meetings. I spend hours preparing for my events. I bring tons of backup equipment. I train. I invest in myself because I want to be the absolute best performer for my clients. And so I would say it all comes down to having an extreme amount of care. And because of that, all of my events are literally amazing. And I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. So with being a full-time DJ, you probably spend a lot of hours out and about and moving all over the place. So you have a daughter, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And do you ever bring her along to some of your events?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my daughter doesn't come because it's too loud typically, but also because when you're working in a really professional scenario, let's say it's a really high-end wedding, I'm wearing like a tuxedo with a bow tie and nice shoes. And if you bring in like your baby or your wife who aren't supposed to be there, it just looks a little off. So typically I don't bring them because the level of events I do, it just wouldn't be proper maybe. But when I first started dating my wife, and then we were married before we had a baby, she would definitely come to my events and help me. And she would, dress appropriately so that she matched the vibe of the event. And that was really fun having her come along. But someday, hopefully, my daughter, my future kids can join me and kind of be my assistants who are helping me set up. And I think that'd be a really cool thing to do.
Yeah. And social media nowadays can be used for good and sometimes bad. But for you, does social media in a way help you kind of get your name to like other people and stuff like that?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't find me on Instagram. It's kind of weird. There are other people who say that a lot of their clients come from Instagram. Mine don't. I typically use my Instagram as my portfolio. So, hey, thanks for reaching out to me on my website. Please check out my Instagram. And then on my Instagram, they can see all these photos and videos of great events. And they can basically use my Instagram to verify that I'm professional, I'm very good at what I do, and it gives them confidence in me. And so that's typically how my Instagram is used.
One thing you said was portfolios, and those are really important when entering a career of creativity. And a lot of people don't really know what they're meant for. So what type of definition would you say a portfolio is, and how it apply to your career?
Excellent question. So a portfolio in the event entertainment world is basically a document. Mine's a virtual document, and it shows the history of what I've done. And basically the whole idea of this portfolio is they can see photos and videos and even reviews from my clients. And this is another tool for people to establish or to help people see my credibility, to see that they can trust me with their event, that I'm worth the price that I'm charging. And so that portfolio is another tool for them to see my work and to know that I will do a great job.
So we're going to move on to our final question. And on the podcast, it's known as the big question. Are you ready?
Yep.
So our big question is, what advice would you give to our generation?
The advice that I would give to your generation is whatever you love doing, become really, really good at it. So if you love doing makeup, if you love cooking, if you love skateboarding, if you love technology, become extremely good at it, because the most fulfilling lives, I believe, are filled with people doing things that are meaningful and that they love. And when you can find something that's meaningful and that you love, and you can turn it into a career, so that's the third thing, then you have this meaningful, amazing life, doing what you love doing and getting paid for it. And that is something that I would love to tell the whole world, especially, your generation, is it's totally okay to get a normal job and have a normal career. Totally fine, because some lifestyles love that. Some people love that. But getting paid to do what you love is a really cool feeling. And I wish everyone, all youth everywhere, would put more thought into that. So that's my advice.
Thanks so much. And we just wanted to thank you for taking the time to meet with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
That's all we have for you guys on the Three Peaks podcast. We'll see you guys on the trail.